Atal Bihari Vajpayee's mortal remains being brought to the BJP headquarters in New Delhi. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and senior leaders of the BJP and union ministers are waiting patiently outside the Bharatiya Janata Party headquarters in New Delhi. Atal Bihari Vajpayee's mortal remains are being brought from his residence in Krishna Menon Marg to the BJP headquarters. His convoy is just about to reach. Hordes of people lining up the roads, paying their homage to the departed leader. We have WION correspondent Siddhant Sibal joining us on the phone line. Siddhant, you're tracking the convoy as it's just about to reach the BJP headquarters.
Well, rightly said, in just 2 minutes the convoy will enter the BJP headquarters. It has arrived at the BJP headquarters and a sea of humanity is present here. A lot of people are present here, including the media personnel in full strength. A lot of people shouting, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Amar Rahe, long live the former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And that is a slogan that is reverberating right now. Even as we speak, the BJP headquarters here in New Delhi, the procession started from the Krishna Menon Marg, which was the house of the former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. The last yatra, the Antim yatra, began from his house to the BJP headquarters where I am right now standing. And even as I speak, I can hear a lot of Hindu bhajans also, which is being sung here through various means. But just in few moments, the body will enter the BJP headquarters in New Delhi, where he will be paid his last respects by his supporters, by the people who will be missing him, by the people who were impacted by his policies. And the crowds are only growing louder here where I am standing. And if we talk about his legacy, his deep imprint on the Indian policy architecture, the foreign policy, it's a huge vacuum he's leaving behind.
Right.
He will be a much loved, he will be a much missed politician, a politician who believed in consensus, a true Democrat, and a person who believes in walking together instead of acrimony or divisiveness, which of course is not liked by many and of course the common man. So clearly a much-loved politician has left the country, but leaving behind a strong imprint on the Indian policy making and the Indian policy architecture.
Siddhant, and we're getting these visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Rajnath Singh, Bharatiya Janata Party Chief Amit Shah, all of them waiting patiently outside the BJP headquarters, along with the Uttar Pradesh State Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Foreign dignitaries are all set to arrive as well for Vajpayee's funeral.
Prime Minister arrived almost 30 minutes ago along with the ruling BJP party's President Amit Shah here at the headquarters of the BJP in New Delhi. But let me tell you, yes, across the subcontinent, from countries like Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, they are sending their delegation here. I can tell you that a 4-member Pakistani delegation will be here at Vajpayee's funeral. The Pakistani delegation is being led by the Information Minister Saeed Ali Zafar. Along with him, the DG South Asian SAARC, Dr. Mohammad Faisal, and the Director India at the Pakistani Foreign Ministry will also be present here. The Pakistani Foreign Ministry also tweeted this morning that jang nahi hone denge. Clearly, he had a lot of fans across the border in Pakistan also, because he was a person who believed in peace. Yes, he tried to make peace with Pakistan, but of course Pakistan being Pakistan, a state which is configured in a manner to hate India, indulge in something which is to remember today as Kargil War. But if you look at other countries, he developed partnership with Nepal, with Bangladesh, with Sri Lanka, even the Maldives president also wrote a condolence letter, and he reached out to the world powers, Moscow and Washington. Today, we all are celebrating the good relationship, the positive trajectory between India and the United States. But remember, the foundation was laid by this person, the former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who reached out to the Clinton administration, to the administration of George W. Bush.
And Siddhant, as we speak, the convoy is entering the BJP headquarters. The convoy carrying the mortal remains of Atal Bihari Vajpayee is entering the BJP headquarters, where it will be kept for one and all to pay homage and their last respects to the departed leader. Siddhant, stay with us. So we also have our political editor, Kartikeya Sharma, joining us on this broadcast. Kartikeya, tell us what's going to happen from here on, because it's a full state funeral that's planned for Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
Krishna, the body will be kept for the public display. I think for 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, depending on the numbers which arrive at the BJP headquarters. But the importance is that this sort of a ritual, or this sort of I would say funeral, has not been witnessed in last I would say 30 years. The last time I would recall when something like this in Delhi took place, when Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated, and his assassination took place during the campaign. He was not the Prime Minister. I think that's about it. But for the whole the cabinet to wait, the Prime Minister, these are basic political decency for a man who today is actually a statesman. Vajpayee is not described as a politician. Vajpayee, if you look at the words which are used for Vajpayee, then we can understand the immense contribution he made to Indian public life. He was a journalist, he was a poet, he was an administrator, he was a politician, and he was a graceful man. And most of the people you see here, they have all been groomed by Atal Bihari Vajpayee and L.K. Advani, all of them. If you look at Modi, if you look at Rajnath Singh, any one of them. And we have to understand that Vajpayee was not a politician who came into politics in 70s. Vajpayee from Balrampur Lok Sabha seat went on to become the Lok Sabha MP. That was the second Lok Sabha. Atal Bihari Vajpayee sat opposite Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. He was a contemporary of Ram Manohar Lohia. He was a contemporary of Babu Jagjeevan Ram. He sat with former Prime Minister Chandrasekhar. He sat with former Prime Minister Chaudhry Charan Singh. Even former Prime Minister VP Singh, I.K. Gujral, they were way junior to him. Vajpayee was an old politician. Vajpayee was an old man when he became the Prime Minister. But he actually created history by becoming the first non-Congress Prime Minister of the Republic. So Vajpayee, in that way, was not only larger than life, but was senior to many politicians. And Vajpayee's contribution, when people say, what did Vajpayee do? People start looking for Vajpayee's contribution from 1998 to 2004. I think that's a short way of looking at history. We have to understand that Vajpayee was one of the pillars of Janasangh. Janasangh was very closely associated as BJP with RSS, but fact of the matter is that Janasangh could not succeed. Janasangh ran into a problem with the Janata Party government on the issue of dual membership, and Vajpayee and Advani were part of it. And Janasangh Days also shows the respect Advani gave to his colleagues. Advani was junior to Atal Bihari Vajpayee. In fact, for some time Advani worked as a secretary to Atal Bihari Vajpayee. But Vajpayee made him the head of Janasangh, and he allowed Advani to supersede lot of people. So that way Vajpayee also rewarded loyalty. And between Advani and Vajpayee, the Janasangh and BJP, they dominated it for 40 years. Either he became the president or Advani became the president. And for example, in 1980s when BJP was founded, it was the founding father was Atal Bihari Vajpayee in 1980. So BJP that way is a young party. It's only 38 years old. It was founded in 1980, and Vajpayee was also influenced by a lot of liberal political writers, and his fondness or I would say his respect for the parliamentary politics was immense. And I'll give you an example. You know, strong military decisions were taken by Vajpayee. The nuclear weaponization program, Operation Parakram, but Atal Bihari Vajpayee never allowed it to be used as a muscular politics domestically, which we see today. So Vajpayee that way was many influences in one. So you know, he could be a poet at one time, and Vajpayee could be an administrator at one time. Vajpayee could be a politician at one time, and then he could be a writer at another time. And if you look at the reportage and editorials in newspapers, it tells you one simple thing, that fondness for Vajpayee has grown after he exited public life, and people are more fondly remembering him after he passed away. You know, this is a rarity for a politician. Politicians can manufacture accolades and praise when he is in power, but very rarely people praise politician and fondly remember him once he exits public stage. But this is exactly the opposite for Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and that he is being remembered so fondly after he is gone. So I think these words speak stronger than what he has done. For people to remember a man fondly who retired in 2005 and to write so fondly about him, and then there is a intergenerational fondness.
Right.
One, people who worked with him, and another, those who have heard about him. That makes a leader big.
Right.
And that is why Vajpayee is a larger than life leader.
4-member Pakistani delegation is set to attend the funeral. That is a direct outcome of the legacy that Vajpayee leaves behind, you know, when it comes to his acumen in foreign policy.
You know, I would say, before we go to the visual, I would say that, I expected that a senior politician would come, and what Pakistan has done is that they have sent bureaucrats.
Yeah.
So, I really don't want to get into that political niceties, but then it would have been better if a politician of a stature would have been, would have attended the funeral, or a inter-party delegation, those who interacted with Atal Bihari Vajpayee would have come here. So this reflects that Pakistani state is not serious in interacting with Indian government. They could have used this, I would not use the word opportunity, but this solemn occasion by paying respect to Vajpayee and also giving a signal that they are interested, but they have not given the signal. They have not sent the politician, that's the way I see it. But now these are the visuals which are coming directly from the Bharatiya Janata Party's headquarters, Deen Dayal Upadhyay Marg in central Delhi. That's where he's been laid to rest. Now this is being opened for what in India we call public display, Janta Darshan, that's the word which is used in Hindi. That now people can come and pay their respect to Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be easy going there. A lot of security restriction because Prime Minister is there, the full cabinet is there, the military brass is there, the government, the who's and of the government is right now there. But once they exit, leaving aside a bare minimum security apparatus, I think the people will be allowed. They will be allowed to come and pay their respect. It's going to be a tough managing people, keeping in mind that a lot of people personally worked with Vajpayee, were associated with Vajpayee. Vajpayee had a long career. Imagine, he came to Parliament in 1957. In fact, a lot of people don't know, as a teenager, Vajpayee participated in Quit India movement in 1942. So that way, he was born in 1924. He was a 20-year-old man in 1944. Which is 18 when he was participating in Quit India movement. So barring couple of, I think it leaves very few politicians in India like Veerbhadra Singh, the former Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister, who went on to become MP in the first Lok Sabha. There are very few people left like Vajpayee in Indian politics. That's what makes Atal Bihari Vajpayee very, very rare. But I think, when we talk about Atal Bihari Vajpayee, we only talk about when he was in power or leader of opposition. We never talk about Vajpayee when he struggled. Vajpayee struggled in 50s. He went on to become MP when he was 34 years old. For 34 years, Vajpayee was struggling. And from 57 to 67 till 77, when he went on to become Foreign Affairs Minister, he was again struggling. And there was a problem. Everyone wanted some support from Janasangh, but Janasangh was again untouchable. So Ram Manohar Lohia, a very venerated socialist in Indian politics, he had to go to Nagpur and he said, let's get together all of us, socialists and people from right and left, and defeat Indira Gandhi. And that is why in 1967 you had all non-Congress government in the states. The first big jolt of the to the Congress party, and Atal Bihari Vajpayee was very central to it. He was part and parcel to it. He went to jail during emergency. Advani was behind bars. They were all jailed for 2 years. In fact, Narendra Modi, though he was not jailed, but he was helping those who were not caught by the police. You know, the modern folklore about Prime Minister is that he dressed like a sannyasi and moved all across India to help out who were resisting emergency at that point of time. But Vajpayee's, I would say, charisma grew over a period of time. For his oratory, and he had different views. You know, it is an acknowledged fact that Vajpayee in 80s was opposed to the Ayodhya movement, and RSS was pretty angry, but all the time till Vajpayee was alive,
and that's
he was always senior to every RSS Sarasang Chalak, and that's what made Atal Bihari Vajpayee a very unique figure in the politics of right in Indian Republic.
Yeah, and Karthikeya, that's why he's been called the moderate face of Hindutva, the moderate phase of the BJP and the RSS, and many say that is also the need of the hour in India right now.
I think he combined both. You see, Vajpayee absorbed, like people absorb influences, you absorb influences, I absorb influences. So very few people get completely carried away by one influence, you know, they become part of that ideology and organization. I think Vajpayee was influenced by a lot of things, and I think the side which you are referring to it is also because he was a poet, you know. And look at his, you know, this liberalness is also about attitude, you know. There are a number of references, you know, people would say that he was not disciplined when it came to food. But then, you know, when you talk about food, it's also about lifestyle, you know. He liked little pleasures of life. You know, a lot of people have covered Vajpayee. You know, he liked jalebi, he liked samosa. People said he overindulged in fried food, but the fact is he enjoyed life. You know, he had no qualm in taking a vacation. Obviously, he didn't go to London. He went to Manali. When he would go to Manali, he would meet people. So, you know, there was a certain thing which people admired about him, which made his personality very, very distinct, you know, unique. People liked being with him, you know, even if the job is not getting done. That was the that sticky part to his personality. But I would say that, look at Vajpayee. In BJP's constitution in 1980, Gandhian socialism was mentioned. Advani was against it. There was a Palampur Adhiveshan or a session which took place, and then Bharatiya Janata Party decided to formally adopt the movement which VHP was running for Ram Temple, and Vajpayee was opposed to it. The only time he actually came close to it when he realized that he is being marginalized. Please remember, for 2 years Vajpayee was not the leader of opposition. He got himself marginalized within Bharatiya Janata Party. And but in politics things change. And who came to his help? Lal Krishna Advani. When he was being backed by RSS, Lal Krishna Advani took everyone by surprise and announced Atal Bihari Vajpayee's name as the Prime Minister candidate in 1996. So, you know, Advani did return the favor which Vajpayee did on him. And then Vajpayee never looked back. And he never looked back. And obviously people can criticize him for his speech, Dharti ko samtal karna hoga, you know, in context of Babri Masjid. But then, you know, this is part and part of politics. You know, you have to remember Vajpayee in his complexity and the sort of life he led. He, like for example, despite so many attacks, he never lost hope. Chitti Singhpura massacre took place, Kargil took place, Red Fort attack took place, Parliament attack took place, number of terrorist attack took place, but he still wanted to speak to an average Kashmiri. He still wanted to go to Pakistan and speak to them. So, you know, we had an idealist in Vajpayee also. He always hoped against hope also. And then people also, how many people can come and tell you that we heard Vajpayee shouting? You know, there are a lot of journalists, you know, there are a lot of people who have covered Vajpayee, but not one of them would say that I heard Vajpayee saying that I don't want to talk to you. He would even talk to the biggest of his detractors, you know. Even when a lot of journalists have told me, when they were asking him hard questions, they would say, "Aapke prashn bahut kathir hai." The literal translation is, "You're asking me tough questions, and you send me a copy of this tape." But he would never say, "Don't interview me." So there was a Democrat inside, you know, completely ingrained Democrat in Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
Absolutely.
So Vajpayee should not be, I would say, reduced to quadrilateral, nuclear deal, foreign policy, or for example, the way the American-US relationship was defined. Contribution of Vajpayee has to be done in the way he respected the Constitution. Constitution is the bedrock of Indian Republic and democracy, and Atal Bihari Vajpayee never played with it. I think that's his immense contribution to Indian public life, and that is why there is no other word. The patriarch of Bharatiya Janata Party, that's the word for Atal Bihari Vajpayee. 99% of the leaders you see there are all spawned and all brought up by Vajpayee Advani combined.
Right, Kartikeya Sharma, our political editor, bringing us that perspective. Kartikeya, stay with us. We also have WION correspondent Siddhant Sibal, who has been tracking all the goings on at the BJP headquarters. Now, visuals, live visuals on your screen of people paying homage, their respects to Vajpayee. The model remains being kept at the BJP headquarters for a couple of hours so that people can come and bid farewell. We have Siddhant Sibal joining us on the phone line. Siddhant, Vajpayee's mortal remains are at the BJP headquarters right now. People are paying their respects to him. And from here onwards, talk to us what happens, say, in a couple of hours' time from now.
Well, he will be kept here for a few hours here so that people can pay homage to him. His body just arrived here after that long procession from his house at the Krishna Menon Marg, and right now there are BJP supporters, there are people from all walks of life, and we do expect a lot of politicians, chief ministers especially, to come here and pay their homage. The Indian Prime Minister, the president of the ruling BJP party, is already present here. They were waiting since around 9 o'clock here, and of course the security has been beefed up, but a lot of media personnel present. And when, of course, the procession arrived, it entered the gate, we saw people, the supporters, the people, the common people who came here to pay homage to the beloved Prime Minister, shouted in one chorus, Amar Rahe Atal Bihari Vajpayee, long live the Prime Minister of India, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, as Kartikeya put it, a true Democrat for whom Constitution was the bedrock of Indian democracy, and that is why he will be a much-loved person, a person who had appeal across party lines, not only in the party. He started the patriarch of BJP, as Kartikeya put it, and of course he is the patriarch of BJP since he was the person under whom the current leadership of BJP is ruling, and are part of the current government here in New Delhi.
Siddhant Sibal, our correspondent, joining us with the latest updates. These are live visuals of people paying their respects to Vajpayee. His mortal remains at the BJP headquarters in New Delhi. We will continue tracking the latest as far as the last rites ceremony of Atal Bihari Vajpayee is concerned. Now, we also spoke with the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Khurshid Mahmood Kasuri. Let's listen in to what he had to say.
When he came to Islamabad, I remember when I was then Foreign Minister, when he entered the Aiwan-e-Sadr, which is what we call our President's house, just as you call it Rashtrapati Bhavan, when he entered Aiwan-e-Sadr, we were not sure that we would succeed. And I remember distinctly feeling uncomfortable. Statement, and I'm sure the Indians also wanted privately a joint statement. But, of course, you keep your cards close to your chest. But as the talks went on, the atmosphere eased, and the two countries, the two leaders, that is President Musharraf and Prime Minister Vajpayee, agreed to a joint statement, the famous 6th of January joint statement of Islamabad. And that ushered in actually a long period of peace and amity and cordiality between the two countries. Although it was started by Prime Minister Vajpayee, it's true the government didn't last for too long, probably 6-8 months after that. But we'd made a lot of progress and the atmosphere had improved. So when he lost the elections, we were quite upset in Pakistan because we were not sure that the new Congress government, whether it would own up to what had been started by the BJP. So when the Congress government took over, we were not sure that the new Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, would carry on with that, but he did. So I would say that the credit for having started the whole thing going, then he was a brave man. I remember when he came to Lahore, I was not foreign minister, I was then a member of parliament. And he went to Government House, Lahore, and during that visit, he went to Minar-e-Pakistan, which commemorates the passing of a Pakistan resolution at Minto Park, now called Allama Iqbal Park, under when Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Maulvi Fazlul Haq had that resolution passed. So he was under pressure, apparently, from a section of his party not to go to Minar-e-Pakistan. He took the courageous decision, which had a great deep impact on the people of Pakistan. He went to Minar-e-Pakistan, and when I remember he either said it openly or he said it in a small group. He said, some people in India telling me, hardliners, that I should not have gone there, but they should know that I have done something which really needed no ratification. Pakistan is there. And then, of course, I remember my personal meetings with him. I found him to be a man of great humility, a man of great charm,